welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Ken Pillarge. Joining me this time is Al Wright, head coach of the men's tennis team at Port Huron Northern High School. Al, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot.
I understand your team's had a very successful season this year.
Yes, we had a great season. Our regular dual meets, we were 8 wins and 2 losses, and we ended up winning our regional this year, first time in 10 years that we've done that.
Well, congratulations. Talk a little bit about how it came about. Did you think you were going to have such a successful season?
I was hoping to. We worked real hard during the summer. A lot of the players put in a lot of time, and I thought the groundwork was there, but you never know for sure. I had a lot of young players, and they came through real well.
That's good. We talked a little bit earlier. You won 6 of 7, I believe it was flights or
yes.
something. That's not a regular occurrence.
No, it's all based on points in the regional, and every win that you get, you receive 1 point, and there's 7 flights. There's 4 singles and 3 doubles, and we are very fortunate that we came as champions in 6 out of those 7 flights. We had 26 out of a possible 28 points in the regional.
It's exceptional. Now the states, we mentioned, they now go May 31st to June 1st to be traveling to Midland. Is there any differences for this meet compared to the meets you're used to?
Well, all the elite players will be there. We've put in a lot of work, and we've gone to a lot of tournaments throughout the state this spring, but the teams that are there, they've done the same thing. They're real hard workers also. We're one of the better teams, but all the teams up there are going to be good now.
Okay. Let's go back to the beginning of the season, Coach. You mentioned a young team. You mentioned a little bit that you thought you were going to be good, laying down good base work and stuff. Talk a bit about who you thought your key players would be.
Well, we have a lot of depth. That's one of our keys, is all the way from the top of our lineup to the bottom, but we have an exceptional #1 singles player in Mark Walker, and he happens to be a freshman. He started off the season a little slow. He was 2-5. I don't think he was quite used to going against seniors and juniors, more of his age group when he played below in like SEMTAs and things like this, but he kind of turned it around, and he ended up going 18-2 in his last 20 matches, and was the MAC, the Macomb Area Conference champion, which made him the most valuable player in the league. And then he also won his regional, so that's just outstanding, especially for a freshman.
It's an exceptional season. Coach, in case our viewers aren't sure, you mentioned #1 singles. Why don't you explain to them a little bit how the #1 through #4, how the format works? Okay,
well, we have, during the regular season, we have 4 singles and 4 doubles. And your best player must play at #1. Then, as a coach, you can match up other players. So your second best player could play in doubles. We basically went with a pretty straight lineup in that #1 singles is our best player, and then #2, which is Cam Chapman, a senior. He had an outstanding year, brought a lot of experience to our senior lineup. Then we have a junior in Chris Penzine, who's just really improved during the year, and I think he's going to have just a fantastic year next year. And then we have a freshman at #4 singles, in Rob Boyer. Then we have the doubles lineup, and again, they must be in the order of their ability. I have Jordan Harris and Chris Hall at #1 doubles, Randy Peeler and Rob Ross at #2 doubles. All 4 of those gentlemen are sophomores. And then we have a senior third doubles team of Kevin Hinton and Eric Witter.
Now, Coach, it's going to be funny. How did you practice in this spring? Has been such a crazy spring for you with weather and all. Did you guys find it hard to get some court time early?
Right, it was very difficult. We were out there when it was 33, 34 degrees. That was before Easter, and we were trying to get a lineup. I did know most of the boys from tennis last summer and so forth, working with them the previous year. But you want to give the people that have improved, put in some time during the winter, and just see where they stand. And it was very difficult. And then once the season started, it seemed like when we had an off day, it was either raining or snowing or something for the entire season. So we had a real tough time. And as you know, it was just lately that it's warmed up, and we've had some halfway decent conditions.
Everybody thinks of tennis, they think, oh, you're out in the sun enjoying themselves. That certainly wasn't the case this year.
No, far from it. But I give credit to the team. I never heard a complaint once. They kept working hard, and good things came about because of that.
Now, Coach, you mentioned you're going to the state tournament now. Your 1 through 4 singles players will go, and the states only goes 1 to 3 in doubles. Why is that?
Right. Well, the tournament is still under like the old concept. It has changed in the last 8 to 10 years, where teams started adding a 4th doubles because they wanted to get more and more people involved in the varsity part of the sport. And our league had a 4th doubles rule that we play it every day, and other schools have picked up on it, tournaments. But the rule, as far as the state, is a little bit old for the state tournament, meaning regional and state. And there's been quite a movement to get it changed, but it hasn't come about yet. Some of the smaller schools fight it because they feel like they don't have enough students and they can't compete fairly. And but I think this fall, I've been saying that for a couple of years, but I think this fall there's going to be a change for this coming year.
Okay, Coach, you mentioned you're a very young team. The future obviously looking very bright for Port Huron Northern Tennis.
Right. You never know what's going to happen, but as it is right now, if these young people that we have keep working hard, we're just going to have an outstanding team for the next 2 or 3 years.
And we'll be back with Port Huron's tennis coach Greg Vera right after this on CPHS Channel 6.
A safety belt? Me?
With my job, I'm in and out of this car at least 100 times a day.
But officer, it wrinkles my ruffles.
It's been 10 years since Michigan enacted its safety belt law, but there are still some people who make excuses. We say enough is enough. If we stop you and you are not wearing a safety belt, we will take enforcement action. There are no excuses.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm Ken Pilarz. Joining me now, Greg Vera, Port Huron High's tennis coach. And Greg, welcome to the show.
Oh, good to be here.
Now, Greg, not hiding anything from anyone, this year probably one of your tougher years. You lost a couple players early for you. How did that make your season go?
That was difficult. We lost 4 players, including my number 1 player. It was very good due to some rules violations. Made it a little bit tougher year than we expected. We thought we were going to have a very good year, and we had just an average year.
7-6 in overall, 3-2 in the league.
3-3.
Yeah, it's still not a very bad record, everything considering.
Yeah, not too bad. We expected to win it.
Okay.
We really did. We really had some nice personnel coming back from last year's team. We had won the league last year and won the tournament last year, and we were looking forward to a super year this year.
Your thoughts, Coach, overall, how you thought you did? Did the team handle the adversity pretty well?
We started off a little slow. We lost the players early, and you know when you lose a couple leaders, somebody else has to step up.
Okay.
And it took 3 or 4 matches before we started playing well again.
I guess if you're gonna, you hate to say you're gonna lose someone, but actually to lose them early probably helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, well, we forced a lot of young players, a lot of freshmen. We played 3 freshmen all year, and we really didn't expect to do that. And they moved up. They played well.
Okay. You're young now, Coach. The future looking bright for Big Red Tennis?
I wouldn't say it's looking dim.
Okay.
They're still talking about moving us up to the tougher league.
Okay.
But we'll certainly be competitive. I think we'll win more than we lose.
Good. Let's talk about some of your key players now, Coach. Every tennis is broken down 1 to 4. As a coach, you probably put your best player at number 1 now.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your key players.
All right. My number 1 player is Kyle Magnuson. Obviously, he was going to play 2 this year. He's just a freshman.
Okay.
He's a big, strong kid. He's about 6'1", 6'2". Been playing for quite some time. He ended up 11-10 this year, which is pretty good playing 1 for a freshman.
Okay.
You know, he played the best, and he was competitive with the best, and he's just going to grow, mature a little bit, and be even better.
Exactly. You give him that tough competition right away. It's only going to make him stronger.
He played some good players.
Now, Coach, doubles, 1 to 4. How'd your doubles make out this year?
My 1 doubles were very, very good. This was Jeremy Rosenau and Dennis Shannon. Jeremy's a junior, and Dennis is a senior. They won the MAC tournament. They ended up about 14-3 overall. They lost in the regional finals to a very good Chippewa Valley team, and just missed qualifying for the states. They just played very, very well.
Good. What were some of their strengths? What did you feel their strong points were?
Those guys got along very well.
Okay.
Their net game was very strong. When their serves are on, they're almost unbeatable. And again, they only lost a couple matches all year, and all the matches they lost were very close.
I imagine having a doubles team that is friendly or close with each other helps a lot.
Oh yeah, and they've been together for 2 years, and they're both very good students. They both are honor students, exceptional grades, and just nice kids to be around.
Coach, let's swing things around here a little bit, talking with some other spring coaches. The weather played havoc for you this year, I imagine.
Well, we technically we're supposed to start about the second week of March, and
Okay.
for the first 3 weeks, it seems like maybe we got out on the courts twice. So it backed everything up. Everything kind of was forced into April, and we had a lot of rainouts. We had to make those up, and it was tough to move players up because we didn't have a lot of practice time.
Okay. As a coach, what do you do to keep the team? Okay, we're still going to be able to play tennis, guys.
They get a
how
little
do you
bit.
do that?
They get a little antsy. A lot of the kids would in the springtime will hit into the indoors in the tennis house,
Okay.
and that helps with their game quite a bit. But a lot of it's just see what it's like tomorrow. If we can get out, we get out. If we can't, we can't.
Coach, when people think of tennis, they really think of it as an individual type game. How is it related to a team game with the high school? I know certainly, as we spoke earlier, it's still very individual in nature as they're playing for themselves, but they're also playing for the team. How does that help?
It is pretty much an individual game. If you look at it like that, we realize where our strengths and weaknesses are, and we try and find out where the strengths and weaknesses are the other teams, and we match up fairly well. They know, everybody knows where they're playing by the way they line up.
Okay.
They kind of play for themselves, but then again, if they know it's a close match and they got to win a few games so we can win by points or win by sets, they certainly understand it's for poor year and high, and not necessarily just themselves.
Okay, Coach, when you think of a coach for a team sport, you see what they do in basketball, you see what they do in football. What exactly does a tennis coach do when you call practice?
Okay. Our normal practice usually starts around 3 to 3:10. The first 15 to 20 minutes we'll condition, we'll stretch, we'll make sure everybody's loosened up pretty well. We'll divide into different groups. The JV, we had a number of players this year. The JV will go at one end, and that'll work with Coach Langoff or Coach Shimko. And I'll keep most of the varsity players. We'll work on forehands, we'll work on backhands. We'll do some scenarios, some set scenarios. Where are you supposed to be on this point? Where do you expect the ball to go on this point? And obviously there's a number of drills. And we usually run to about 5 o'clock.
So it's not usually as people think, you just don't show up there and grab your racket and start playing.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot more to it than people think. It's particularly in the doubles. Everybody needs to know where they have to be on each scenario, where each shot needs to go, and a lot of communication in doubles.
All right, Coach.
I enjoy the doubles even
Yeah.
more so than the singles.
It's almost like there's more of a team concept there, as we talked about
certainly.
with the camaraderie and so
Certainly.
on.
And if they don't get along, they usually don't win.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Coach, we appreciate you stopping by today,
Okay.
and best of luck with your young team.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to a good season next year, and I want to say thanks to my assistants this year. It was a great year for Coach Shimko and Coach Langoff, and looking forward to next year.
I'd like to thank both of our guests, Greg Barra from Port Huron High and Al Wright from Port Huron Northern, for joining us this afternoon. Once again, thanks for watching Sports Talk. I'm Ken Pilarch.